Hello and welcome to this afternoon. Welcome to this afternoon taste challenge. Yeah, I was supposed to go to a college baseball game and leave pretty soon, but it's too cold. I'm not sitting out there in windy, windy 40 to something degree weather to go watch and throw a ball around. Otherwise, I would have gone. So I said, well, since I'm not going to go suffer through that, I could knock out one of these upcoming taste challenge slots. And tomorrow morning, I can knock out another one. Doubt I will Sunday, but then Tuesday I could. Okay, Daniel Haynes blog says, how you been, man? I've been fine. I was at work all day. Okay, my nose is clearing up. I had a little cold, but it really wasn't too bad. I mean, it was irritating more than anything, but ever since I started taking one vitamin C every morning, I don't really get colds too much, and if I do, it's minor. Relatively minor compared to years ago. It was bad, But anyway, I mean, yeah, if you live in southeastern Louisiana, or just, I guess, South Louisiana, South Central, Southeastern, Southwestern, you're going to have sinus problems because so much humidity. And most people I know, they got problems with that. Okay, so I thought it would start warming up in February. It has a little bit, but not too much. Well, it's sunny today. Sunny and no cloud in the sky, as opposed to yesterday where it rained incessantly for like 18 hours. But anyway, Palo Viejo is the rum in question. Palo Viejo, introduced in 1906, is the last taste challenge with Palo Viejo as the headliner. Nice pewter cap. I don't mean the cap is pewter. It's colored pewter. It's plastic. Old wood, huh? Right. Nasty cold front came through here today, says Ronnie S. Yeah. So Palo Viejo, and then it's going to be retired. And that's it for the white rums. I don't have any more new white rums in this house. Which means what? I'll have to buy one down the road. I'm not in a rush, though. Here's the Captain Morgan with this oddly smooth cap. There's no surface area. So if your hands are the slightest bit sweaty or whatever, you'd never get it off. Strange. Nice big 1,750 milliliter bottle. This is the older 2019 label. There's a new label that's much more colorful than this kind of drab label. Naturally, about a week after I bought it, they came out with the colorful label. 5 times distilled and aged in St. Croix in the USVI, United States Virgin Islands. But it says it's bottled in Connecticut. So it's got a nice embossed bottle. See all that nice glass. Real pretty. Captain Morgan was a real... Hold on a second. My friend Paul from Texas, so I told him I'll call him back after the taste challenge. Let's see. So here's the Palo Viejo, which is slightly yellowish looking, I think, from being in the barrel for a year. It's part of the rums in Puerto Rico, which means it has to be barrel aged for a year. He said, that ain't nothing. I know, but what does that tell you? A lot of rums aren't even barrel aged a year. I mean, they have to be aged in an oak barrel, but could be a minimal amount of time. It's like if you get a product that says bourbon, and it just says bourbon. Yeah, it has to be aged in a white. Doesn't have to be white oak. That's what they typically use. A charred, never before used oak barrel. Any sort of oak, but what the practice is to use white. But it doesn't have to be any kind of length of time. If it's just bourbon. And you might find that it's unusually light. Like you might say, this bourbon it's so light. They can't add color to it. And then if they add color in, then it can't be bourbon. It could be whiskey. I know what some people are going to say. Oh, no, you're wrong. I got you there. Bourbon has to be aged a minimum of 2 years. Well, straight bourbon whiskey has to be aged a minimum of 2 years. If it just says bourbon, then there is no age depth. There is no age requirement. So theoretically, it could be aged a day, but it wouldn't sell because it would be clear or mostly clear, and people would have a problem with that. But you take a new charred oak barrel and you put the bourbon in, the fresh stuff, which is what they call moonshine, clear, odorless color. Basically, well, it might have a little flavor by the addition of rye or wheat, something like that. But or some other grain, it's your option. And you age it a little while, and then it starts getting color on it. You can sell it. Just call it whatever you want to call it, Chablis bourbon. And people say, look how cheap it is. Yeah, I wonder why. But if it's straight bourbon, 2 years minimum. Okay, but anyway, this is rum, this is not bourbon. Okay, so the appearance, well, I didn't put enough Captain Morgan. They're pretty much the same, but there's a little tiny bit more yellowish for the Palo Viejo, but it's so small, it's not anything remarkable. I wouldn't have to worry about, in other words, glancing at it and be thrown off. I don't believe that. Okay, now let's get something straight. I know it's too much glare, right? Look at that light, but at least there's some light. It's better than yesterday sitting in this drab, dreary, cloudy day. I'd rather have the light shining on me and have it unusually or too bright, really. The sun shining, let the sun shine in, let the sun shine in, that kind of thing. So, all right. We're talking about a big price difference, okay? $19.99 divided by 1,750 times 1,000. Ooh, whoa, $11.42 for a liter. $11.42. Now I did get a coupon and get $4 off, but most people don't have a Diageo coupon laying around. And we're talking $6.99 for the Palo Viejo. $6.99. Well, would you rather pay $11.42 for a liter, or would you rather pay $6.99? You say that depends what I'm buying. Exactly. Now, if the flavors are vastly different and the quality level is wildly different, you just pay $11.42 and get a better product. But let's just say you do a taste challenge and you can't tell much difference. Maybe you can't tell them apart at all, like with the Jack Daniel's Old No. 7 versus the Jim Beam Repeal batch. I couldn't even get it right. So would I pay a penny more for the Jack Daniel's? I don't think so. Okay. And you might say your tasting ability is horrible, so I don't listen to you. Well, that's fine. But I only drink the products for me. You see what I'm saying? Like, I can only taste it for myself. I could suggest it to you. You could ignore it, accept it. You know what I'm saying? But these I'm tasting for me. I'm just telling you what I think. You could do your own channel, and then I'd watch and see what you think. Okay. Smells like just stereotypical white rum. What can I say? Charred oak, wood, little spiciness like the black pepper, which it doesn't have that in there. Little pungency, though. That little pungency makes me think it's the Palo Viejo. sweeter, cleaner, without the pungency, more straightforward and crisp, if you want to use that term for rum. You know what? It must be the Captain Morgan. There is only one Captain Morgan. There is only one Captain Morgan in this house right now. Palo Classic Ting. Better Coke says, okay. All right. So on aroma, I think that's the Palo Viejo, and I think that's the Captain Morgan, the Captain Crunch, the Captain Morgan. But I don't remember Captain Morgan, a real person. I mean, of course, they hype it up, you know, for a legendary thing and to sell the product. But he was a real man. He was a governor of Jamaica. Okay. Here's a trivia question. Who was the last governor of Jamaica in 1962? I wouldn't know. I don't know who it was. Another trivia question. Who's the current governor general of Jamaica? Another one I couldn't answer without looking it up. They don't have a president in Jamaica. They have a governor general. That would be their stand-in head of state. Because the actual head of state is Queen Elizabeth II, but since she lives in England, she's not in Jamaica too much, she has a person taking her place. They call it vice-regal, sort of like what we call a vice president, so to speak, type thing. And remember, if the president can't carry out his duties, then who stands in? The vice president. So the queen obviously cannot carry out her duties since she's not there. Now, occasionally she'll visit. But so the stand-in is the governor general. All right, anyway, I was reading about the Canadian governor general. This woman, she used to be an astronaut. They said she must be in constant contact with Queen Elizabeth at all times. In other words, she has to have this like special access code, you know, where she could contact her at any time for whatever particular reason. Kind of amazing, huh? All right. The access code. Every starship has an access code. Sir, our shields, they're dropping. Raise them. I can't. Where's the override? The override. All right, anyway. They're not the same, but they're remarkably similar in quality. Remarkably similar. So what would be the obvious answer? I think we can all answer this without a prolonged video. I'm going to call my friend back. You buy, when you have comparable quality control, comparable flavor in a general sense, and enjoyment level, then you shop price, and then when you finish doing that a week later, you shop price. Okay, I would not pay a penny more for Captain Morgan over Palo Viejo. Do I have a dedicated attachment to either one? No, I could care less. I'm gonna go with the $6.99 Palo Viejo because you haven't lost anything. Nothing. Now, some trade-offs, you give up a little quality because you're saving so much money. Understandable. We understand that. We do that all the time. But here, there's no drop-off. It's a total happy Friday, Jay, says JoJo. Thanks. It's a total winner. There's no, you don't have to say, well, you know, I'm saving. No. Palo Viejo is killing it based on the price. Now, is it killing Captain Morgan based on quality? No, that's a draw. That's a draw. That's even Steven. But on the price consideration, it's out of the question that I would buy Captain Morgan. I'm sorry, Diageo. Now, if I was looking at which one had a prettier bottle or something like that, okay, yeah, okay. You show up at a party, you don't want people to turn or make a funny face or say, oh, you being cheap, even though in a blind taste test, they wouldn't be able to tell it apart. You bring the Captain Morgan because you don't want to hear they mouth. But if they were open-minded and you brought the Palo Viejo and before they started arguing and saying, oh, you know, you say try it. And if they were open-minded, they might say, ooh, that's good. You see. How about the stock market today? Is pretty down all around, says Tyler Mansell. Yeah, well, it's not going to always go up, 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 up. They're going to have downturns. But we're just wondering, when's the downturn that don't go back up, right? Right. Like in 1928, 29, it kind of peaked in 28, started to kind of show problems in 28, 29, and then it crashed in 29, October, right? Would have gone back up a lot sooner, but then the government decided to get involved and manage it, which made it last, made it stay down for a decade. All right. This one is a lot sweeter, you know. I mean, the one in my right hand is a lot sweeter. I see them Bud Ice 12 ounces back there. My favorite cheap beach beer. Yep. Yep. That's some old ones. Old bottles. Except for one. Thumbs up for Ronald Terry, says Jacob. Thank you. Right on, says Tyler. Right on. Is the Captain spiced? No. No. I would like to get the Captain Morgan Spice rum one day, but this is simply a regular old, if you want to call it regular, it's 5 times distilled. But you know what I'm saying? A standard white rum. No added flavors, no added coloring, no added spice. Okay, so that's good. Clear as a bell. Okay, so I'm going to call it now. We're already established that Palo Viejo wins by virtue of the price point, not by the quality, because it's even there. I'm going to say this is Palo Viejo because I think the Palo Viejo is a little more pungent and more wood oriented, which I kind of prefer. The Captain Morgan is more sugary sweet, but then I kind of like that too. So I kind of like the wood, you know, but like it's like really good to have the sweetness, you know. It's like neither one are grody. All right. Woo. Where do I go? Who do I turn to? All right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Go, 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 go. Gadget. I'm going to say Palo Viejo. I did it. I did it. I did it. Well, experience teaches us things like you learn to taste the product. I drank so much Palo Viejo. Look how much I've sampled since I started the challenges. Oh, yeah. So I'm starting to get a flavor for it. And it's got a little distinct quality, that distinct pungent quality. And then look how much Captain Morgan White. Oh, I got a lot left, though, huh? Ooh. So I'm starting to pick up on that little sugary sweet note with it. So I won, but I'm not going to brag too much because I probably only have won about 75% of the time in these taste challenges. And that's if I'm lucky. It might have been more like 67% of the time. So here we go. We're ending this now. Papa Top. I love a good seasoned rum. Seasoned rum, says Backwood Boondock Review. I've never had a spice rum in my life. That is the honest truth. I have never had a spice rum. Sorry, y'all. Do I plan to try it one day? Sure, why not? Dr. Frosty Brew says, cheers, Ron. Cheers to you. Why are rums, now Simon Smith said, why are rums like these more sippable than, for example, Bacardi White, which is the same ABV? Well, I wouldn't agree with that. I find Bacardi White is very, talking about the Bacardi Superior. I think it's very sippable. I love Bacardi Superior, but I wouldn't say that it's extraordinarily better than these two. Actually, I wouldn't even say it's better, although it's more expensive. Really? Wow, says Jacob. If anyone doesn't like this channel, I say let them eat static. It says 47 straight, right. It's very cold in space. But of course, we're one big happy family. Now, anyway, it's Reliant. All right. Terms of our surrender. Laughing out loud, says Simon. Good evening, or is it too early to say that? Yeah, it's still afternoon, so good afternoon. Even Craig, who's on the East Coast, it's still afternoon. Good afternoon, good night, and good morning for you in Thailand. But seriously, folks, as a comic in all seriousness, tomorrow morning for Dawn Busters, for Dawn Busters, I plan to do a rum. What am I saying? Rum. A bourbon whiskey taste challenge. Jack Dan. Oh, slap me down for saying that. Jim Beam repeal batch versus Blanton's. You say, oh no, please don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. You're gonna put Jim Beam repeal batch against Blanton single barrel. Okay, right. Hey, but I'm open-minded, you know. Jacob Downey says, I agree. Back with spice rum with Dr. Pepper or cherry Pepsi. Oh, Bazam, something I've never tried. All right, anyway. No, but we're willing to learn. Thanks for watching this video production. Palo Viejo is the absolute winner. And what a great product. I can't believe it. When I bought this in Baton Rouge last month, I was thinking, or was it in December? I can't remember. I was thinking, what's going to happen? This is going to be bad. Bad. It's fabulous. For $6.99 a liter, give me a break. Natty Boer Hams is one of the best lawnmower beers. I can't argue with that. And I was so glad I bought that 6-pack of Bow Ice. Natty Bow Ice. James, Montana, 29. True story. I got it. I got a can. I saved the can because I knew people would tell me I was lying. I knew people would say, you're lying. Ain't no such thing as National Bohemian Ice. Well, I got the can to prove it. So, but Bow Ice, I've seen it. See? Nah. I think that 6-pack was $3.99 on US Highway 40 in Baltimore, and I didn't even get shot. All right. Thanks for watching this. It is real. It's a real product. Thanks for watching this video production, you all. Oh, Ma, you're just jealous. It's the